Welcome back to Movies TV Mad. You can follow me on Twitter at Movies TV Mad. Smash the like button if you love me. Subscribe if you're new. Please have your say. Very warm welcome to Movies TV Mad in this short video about VFX and CGI and the lack of quality in films today. Here are some facts that people outside of the industry don't understand. The pandemic hit this industry hard. The pandemic isn't an excuse, it's a reality. And some people will see it as kind of spin, but that's not the only reason they have a problem. That's just one of many reasons. They have driven the audience away. They have driven straight white males from watching their stuff, because in the past 8 years I've found out that the industry that I looked up to, hero worshipped, hates my gender and my sexuality. Now, I don't hate them, I pity their insanity. I feel bad that they hate me and my nephews. But anyway, and then there's the lack of quality. They're the three reasons why this industry hasn't got the money to invest in features properly anymore. That's what you've seen with the Flash movie. I can exclusively tell you today, David Zaslav wasn't willing for them to finish off that VFX. You've heard budgets of 300 and 350 million. I don't believe it's possible for a movie of that lower quality to spend that type of money. I don't think they spent anything like that. I think Hamada tried to make that film as cheap as possible, and it shows, doesn't it? So what's wrong with VFX today? What's going on? They're not investing the money to finish the shots. After my live on YouTube with you guys last night, I went out for a couple of beers with my good friend who's a VFX artist, who's over here in Ayia Napa, Cyprus, on holiday, and we were just discussing, like, the Flash movie has total scenes and sequences in CGI. Then we were discussing the difference to what James Wan did in Aquaman. James Wan in Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. He builds sets, he builds buildings, he builds towns, he builds cities, and he only works with CGI when he has to. So the underwater sequence is obviously a CGI, but they're very, very good CGI. That's the difference, especially in the first film. And so he does as much as possible by building his own worlds physically and getting the best, set decorators. And that's why that first movie looks so stunning. The difference is you've got thousands and thousands of CGI shots that need rendering to an acceptable quality on the Flash. In modern day film, there is far too many CGI and VFX shots, and these poor VFX artists can't cope, because there's something you need to know. They call one shot sometimes two shots. This is how they con the VFX artists and the companies, so they pay less money. So if they'll class 3 or 4 little bits as one shot, so they'll get paid for one shot when they should be paid for 5 or 6 shots. It's become a mire. What is the answer? How do we get quality of presentation in our entertainment? We must stop deciding to do thousands and thousands of VFX shots. We must do as much as possible in our movies physically. And if we can do that and just touch up as much as possible of the physical stuff in CGI and reduce the CGI shots, then I think the presentation will be a lot better. I think the second step is to make cheaper movies. You don't necessarily have to be less ambitious. Let me explain to you why. Superman the movie doesn't have one CGI shot. It's one of the most ambitious films ever made. It was for 1976 or 1975, or whenever they started shooting that. It was released in 1978. Yes, I know, before you try and correct me. So they made a film without any CGI, and it still looks mostly amazing today. Now, this morning I woke up really early, which is usual for me, and I put on the 1966 Batman movie starring Adam West and Burt Ward. And this was my entry point to Batman. And what amazed me is how it still looks amazing today. They must have spent a bit of money for 1966 on it. It looks amazing. But what shocked me was the stunt work, the choreography, the kind of just the level of VFX they would use back then. For example, just a small thing. So when they're on the helicopter, we know they're not on the helicopter. But what they do to create that effect for us, the audience, we can see the shadows of the propeller moving around. It really looks like, and the way it's lit in the helicopter, lighting is very important. So it looks like they're realistically in a helicopter. It happens again when they're on the back boat. We know they're not really on a boat, but the backing screen looks realistic. Now, in a lot of films back in those days, and even in the 80s, by the way, the backing screens look so fake. But here they've made the effort. But they do a very simple thing as well. They chuck a bit of water on the boat as they're moving along. And it's very choppy. It feels choppy and it's shaking. These are simple things to make things look real. To feel like you're actually experiencing a real thing. This was 1966. Nothing in The Flash felt that realistic. Yes, the opening sequence for Batfleck, which was obviously shot just for the trailers, looks really good. I don't think when he's jumping about, when he's holding on to the rope and he's jumping about in the road, it looks great, to be honest. Then there's the VFX on the cow, because basically Ben Affleck wasn't there. It was totally shot with stuntmen. He wasn't, basically Ben Affleck was barely in that film. Physically, Ben was hardly in that film. He's in the scene with Ezra when they're talking about time travel, but he's not really on that bike. Obviously, the voice is his. And at the end, when we get that ridiculous sequence with the lasso of truth. So he's barely in the movie. But this is how you can improve your presentation in entertainment today. You must find a way. Obviously, if there's not the money there, if they're not willing to spend the money they used to spend, right? They used to make damn expensive movies because the money was coming in. So if you're wondering why the movies seem to lack presentational quality, it's because there's not the money to invest. Because to invest money, you've got to be getting it in. Don't be fooled by this. It's Hollywood, they're rich, blah, blah, blah. The money has dried up. They spent too much money and it's not coming back in because the audience has left the building. So number one, cheaper films that you can still make an effort on and have great presentational quality. Less CGI shots is going to be something very important going forward. Now, some directors are going to be, giving you quality, your James Camerons, they will still be having thousands and thousands of CGI shots because they're willing to pay for it. Even though he's working for Fox, that's owned by Disney, which is one of the companies giving you poor presentational entertainment right now, he's willing to pay for what they're not willing to pay for. That's why Avatar: Way of the Water looks so stunning. That's the big difference. But they're not willing to pay. They don't have the funds anymore to pay for thousands and thousands of VFX shots to look good. And that's the problem. And so they're releasing movies because they don't care. As long as they're released on schedule and they can bring in money, they don't care. But that's the bigger problem. These movies are not bringing in the money. The Flash movie isn't just a financial disaster, it's a financial catastrophe. They were banking on this film to make their year. So they've got June that they've got to hope makes $1 billion now. I don't know what that film's going to be like. I hope it's as good and even better as the first film because I really enjoyed Denis Villeneuve's first movie. Then there's the Barbie movie where they'll be relying for more money. Who knows at this point? But one of the most important things about a movie, the most important things about a movie is that you've got great story, great characterizations, and it's an experience for the audience. And then there's the other thing, which we've been talking about on this video, your presentational quality. And I'm sorry, Hollywood, you have lost your pride in your presentation. And once you do that, you are going to continue to lose money. This has been Movies TV Mad with me, Mick, your host with the most. Just ask your girlfriends and your wives. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you never miss this beautiful perfection. Smash the like button if you love me, subscribe if you're new. Please have your say. Until I see you again, goodbye, au revoir, auf Wiedersehen.